And what is going on, Eagles fans? Welcome to another episode of the Eagles Talk podcast. Obviously, it's me and Tyler, obviously the host of the Philly Sports Talk podcast. Welcome to another episode. Tyler, how are you doing, my dude?
I'm doing great, man. Riding high on that draft. Just
Speaking of the draft, I actually I have an article of the draft picks that the Eagles have picked out. But before we get deep dive into that, man. Like we all, and I think all football fans know, no matter if you're an Eagles fan, Chargers, whatever the case may be, this draft was probably one of the biggest drafts that we've seen, in the last 5 to 10 years, maybe, give or take.
And what really baffled me was all the trades that happened in the last 2 days of the draft. It was like 10 trades at night 1, a few more trades night 2. I'm like, Christ.
And there was a couple in day 3. The last time I checked.
Yeah, a couple of day 3. They had a few trades that happened, but all in all, overall, there was a lot of trades.
Oh, absolutely. I thought the draft was great. I did like some of the picks, which I had brought up off screen on my phone. Especially this first number 13th overall, Jordan Davis, defensive tackle out of Georgia. This kid, I'm very high on, and this dude,
seeing what he brought to the table on the game tape, the guy scares me.
He's a dog
because he gets off blocks so quick.
He's 6'6", 340 pounds, ran a 4.78 in the 40-yard dash at the combine. So this kid,
when I saw his damn fucking
his
combine speed, I'm like, or his 40-yard dash run, I'm like, there's no way a big man should move that fast.
And which is funny too, that also because I have it off ESPN. They also are saying that he's also a good basketball player. He can also do backflips into pools. It's like, damn, this kid's got.
He's all around a great athlete.
So, and they also said, he has 32 tackles, 5 for loss, 2 sacks in 14 games last season, but also played 38% of Georgia's defensive snaps in 2021, but mostly a 2-down player. So that's going to be very interesting. Well, what this team's going to be like, with him, being also being one of the.
I feel like we'll be stronger on the front 7 defensively.
Oh yeah, I think we have a great front 7.
Yeah, great. We have
Javon Hargraves, Milton Williams, Fletcher Cox, definitely Jordan Davis, and you're going to have Josh Sweat, and then we're also going to get Brandon Graham back off the Achilles injury. Yep. So that's really what's going to help. And I got no words of how great this draft really was, because like we said,
the next thing we do baffled me. I didn't expect it to even happen.
Well,
we trade that draft pick. We trade the next draft pick for A.J. Brown.
We traded the 18th overall pick, which is still still a first round pick, and a pick 101. I think it was 101. No, wait a minute.
It was the next pick that we had after the Jordan Davis pick. It was 18. We traded 18 and 101 for goddamn A.J. Brown. I
which is funny.
didn't expect it. I didn't
I
expect
think
it.
no Eagles fans would expect
No
that.
one expected. Everybody was like, "Holy shit!"
And that's the thing too. Is like we were not going to go for a wide receiver in the draft. I mean, despite it was a wide receiver and defensive heavy class, but there was no way none of these wide receivers were going to fall at what at.
And I
14,
feel like, and I felt like the Eagles were
13.
going to make that mistake of trusting Rager for another year, and
I really don't think
apparently
so.
they don't trust him anymore. So they basically got rid of him via this trade, so to speak, without trading him.
So we got round 2, 56, the 56th pick, Cameron Jurgens, center out of Nebraska. I'll be honest.
This was kind of a
like a
it was
sounds
kind
like
of a good to me. A lot of people were hating on this pick, but let me explain to you why I like the pick. Jason Kelce has 1 year left on his contract.
Yeah, which is
he may or may not be retiring.
Unless we don't bribe him with a keg of beer, but that's a whole nother thing in itself.
That shit was funny. But here's the thing.
Yeah, we're not gonna have that much older players for much longer. You know, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox.
Yeah, but hold on. Let me explain. You're butting in, bro. You're butting in, buddy. But what are you doing?
Gotta fix my mic a little bit, but yeah.
Oh. But yeah, Jason Kelce is probably going to retire after this season, so I think it was smart of them to get a center in Cam Jurgens here so that he can learn from Kelce. Because Kelsey's one of the best in the damn league at center.
Even Kelce himself has said Jurgens himself reminds him like his younger self. Even Jurgens only standing at 6'3", 303 pounds. So I mean, centers nowadays, like you see like tall centers, but Jason Kelce is another guy that's as undersized.
Yeah, Jason Kelce is a small guy, but he's powerful. He is a powerful center to keep blockers from getting to the quarterback. So it's smart of them to get a center now. If that the impending retirement does happen after the season,
at least we have a contingency in place. So at least we'll have.
So that's to clear up people saying, "Oh, this was a bad pick. We should have picked a linebacker." We need a backup center because who's gonna replace Kelce? That's the question.
Pretty much, that's a big question mark. Because if you think about it, because it's like we got a deficit because we have a really athletic offensive line. We got a lot at the left tackle. Herbig's now gone because the Eagles just released Nate Herbig. So I know everybody not paying attention.
Herbig was a bust. I hate to say it. Herbig was a bust.
But yeah, all of that. Still got Jordan Mailata. Unfortunately, we still got fucking Dillard, which is absolutely insanity.
Dillard is so irritating. He's a good player, but he causes so many fucking penalties.
He's like the Derek Barnett on the offensive side of the football.
And if you notice, when if you looked at the coach in his mouth when Dillard committed that penalty, he goes, "Him again."
No, that was Barnett. That's Barnett you're talking about here.
It was Barnett.
Okay,
Barnett's also a problem.
Yeah,
but Dillard and Barnett are the two guys who are good, but they are not disciplined at the line.
Absolutely, especially Barnett's been in the league long enough to know that. Same with Dillard. But Barnett.
You gotta be more patient at the line. Go when the quarterback says hike, not hike. Okay.
Definitely. And then we get to the third round, which we had the number on the 83 overall pick, which, let's be real, I was shocked when this fucking happened. I think all Eagles fans knew that we're really taking a huge risk. And that's getting Dean out of Georgia.
The thing is, it wasn't so much of a risk, but it was shocking. Because we expected him to go first round. All right. I kind of was expecting the first pick that we had was to go to N'Kobe Dean.
Absolutely.
No, the guy fell to the third round. And he fell right in our lap.
Yeah.
Right in our lap.
So according to what Tim McManus wrote about him is that he had 72 tackles, 10.5 for loss, with 6 sacks, two interceptions for the Georgia in 2021. Explosive athlete, it can be an effective blitzer, an overall difference maker from second level. Yeah, I mean, this kid's really going to be something special. Same with Jordan Davis. So we have 2 Georgia kids going to be wearing Eagles green.
Can we talk about one of the keys that you said? He will be an effective blitzer. That is exactly what we need. Exactly what we need. Because we're a blitzing team.
Absolutely.
We're not so much of a coverage team because we suck at coverage, but we are a blitzing team. And if we can get the blitz going, our defense is going to be dangerous.
And I'll take this in like a different perspective too, because I've been seeing what this, and this obviously does not apply to the Eagles, but if you looked at some of the players in the USFL, I mean, I've seen a couple of linebackers, especially for the Stars, like and how they blitz, like they are hard to hit because they have like a linebacker that's similar to N'Kobe Dean in the same skill set of being an effective blitzer, but he can hit hard. So I mean, it's gonna be very interesting. Obviously, having Kyron White as well and part of that linebacking core, that's gonna be fun to see that kid play. Going to the round 6, I think this might be a steal when it comes to another linebacker, Kyron Johnson out of Kansas. This kid's got a mean streak to him, and from what I've saw, like he pushed around Trevor Penning, who was a first round pick in the seat before the Senior Bowl. It's just like the kid's got a nasty mean streak. So I'm thinking to myself, that's going to be another interesting part of that linebacking core, which is something that it's just really interesting. But he's going to have the same, like it's basically, it's like given the background, is basically same what Hassan Reddick is as a Sam linebacker. Ran a 4.4 second 40-yard dash, 6 foot 235. Posted 6.5 sacks and 8.5 tackles for loss. When we got him in the draft.
Our linebacking core has gotten so dangerous. Think of it. We get Kyron White, who's pretty good. Then we get N'Kobe Dean. Then we get this guy.
And then round 6, we also get another tight end, also in round 6, 198 overall, Grand Calcaterra out of SMU.
Listen, we needed a backup tight end. We needed a backup.
Yeah, because Jackson is still, I think, going to be on the IR to start the season with that ACL.
Yeah, man.
But he also goes on to say he caught 35 balls for 165 yards and 4 touchdowns. So he'll be completing behind role. Obviously, we know that Dallas Guard is a lock, so he's going to be in a competition against Tyree Jackson, Jack Stoll, Noah Tagai, and then J-Jaw.
How is him and Rager on the damn team still?
That your guess is as good as mine, my dude.
Like, what?
And that's the thing too. It's going to be interesting to see what because this team is really going to be very interesting to see what Jordan Davis, N'Kobe Dean, with Kyron White also at the linebacker position, also getting Hassan Reddick in free agency. And all that stuff.
Not only is the defense going to be interesting, the offense is going to be interesting too.
It's going to be very dangerous. I think the offense is going to be very dangerous.
Prolific all day.
Because it's like now we have a 3-head. Finally, have someone else that really help. Devontae Smith can learn a few things or two, and AJ Brown, which is crazy. He's still AJ Brown's only 24 though, which is very crazy to think that he's still as young as he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so far we only had 5 total draft picks, but at least somehow Howie knew how to work his magic with that.
Howie went crazy.
He was
crazy. He was a madman at this draft, and we love him for it. And we apologize for all the the bad
But
shit.
the only issue that I want to have with this team a little bit is the secondary. That's going to be something that's a little bit going to be a bit of a question mark.
The only problem that I have in the secondary, you already have linebackers covered. The only problem that I have with the secondary is that second quarter cornerback spot and the safety spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, a lot of Eagles fans were kind of, and obviously we all know that Tyrann Mathieu, but the fact that, kind of going a little bit off topic here, I think the Saints kind of overpaid for somebody who is starting to really get past his prime.
Here's the thing, Rob. You're just saying that because he didn't come to Philly. He's a good player.
He is good though, but
he would have went to the Saints even if they gave him a little bit less money. Because that's his home, Rob. Why do you think he didn't come to Philly? New Orleans is his home.
And even after the draft too, there was a lot of undrafted free agents in this year's draft, especially this Clemson wide receiver who I was very high on, and that was Justin Ross. The fact he went undrafted that's a travesty.
I think there was one that was who actually was a safety that didn't get taken by any teams. Shocked me.
You talk about Reed Blankenship out of Middle Tennessee State.
Yeah, I was like, how? He was not that bad.
So how was he not taken? I don't know, but when it comes to our undrafted free agents, the first one we picked up was Mario Goodrich out of Clemson. So either way, I really like what Mario Goodrich kind of brings to the table a little bit. I kind of we got Carson Strong from Nevada.
Let me explain to you what the Carson Strong thing. This proves that Jalen Hurts is in a prove it year.
Oh yeah, this is a prove it year.
Prove it, or you're out. Prove that you can take this team to the playoffs. Give us a bit of a run in the playoffs, or you're out.
We also got Josh Blackwell, defensive back out of Duke. We got Kennedy Brooks, running back out of Oklahoma. Josh Joby out of Alabama, defensive back. EJ Perry, another quarterback at Brown, which is probably not going to be like another camp arm. Noah Elise, defensive tackle out of Idaho. Bretton Covey, wide receiver out of Utah. Obviously, we did talk about Reed Blankenship, who's a safety out of Middle Tennessee State. We got Josh Sills out of Oklahoma State and Jared Williams out of Miami. And then we got William Dunkel out of San Diego State. So those were the Eagles' undrafted free agents. But there's a kind of like Josh Joby and Mario Goodrich were the two ones that I had high in the second round when it comes to the kind of the talent that they brought. But the fact they went undrafted was same with Reed Blankenship, like you said, is how the hell did he go undrafted?
Yeah, man. I feel like this team did get better. Are they set for a Super Bowl? Not really.
Not yet.
I feel like they'll win a division this year.
Yeah, because it seems like the other three teams have not got. I mean, the only one that I feel like it has slightly improved is probably the Giants to some extent.
That's all who improved with the Giants and Washington, and those teams are basement dwellers or third place teams. They're not really a threat like the Cowboys are. And the Cowboys snubbed in the draft.
Yeah,
they messed up the draft.
That's definitely.
They could have been the ones. They could have been the ones who drafted the linebacker out of Georgia.
But then again, even though we all know that Jerry Jones is good at drafting, but apparently he does not make the right pick. So it kind of seems to me that what Howie has been aggressive this year so far, 2 good drafts in the last couple of years. Getting Devontae Smith last year, then you have just many solid picks this year, especially on the defensive end of the football. And some good offense and some good undrafted free agents too, like Goodrich, Blankenship, all that. It's just like it's gonna be very like I said. And plus having A.J. Brown, who's gonna be sticking with the same number he wore in Tennessee. That's gonna be fun.
4 years, Rob. 4 years.
25
We've got
million
this guy.
for 25 million for the next 4 years.
25 mil for 4 years, Rob.
So basically, we pretty much gave him a little bit more than what the Tennessee Titans were offering.
He said it before, and they were and he was completely right for saying it. The Titans lowballed him.
They very low.
We picked up the scrap.
And the fact that we got him from cheap too, for what we spent, you know,
got
two
him
draft
for
picks.
we got him for picks, Rob. For picks.
It's just crazy.
All we had to do was trade our picks for AJ Brown.
Absolutely. The fact, and then we're going to have, you know, Smith, Brown, and Watkins as their wide receivers, and hopefully that's going to be tough. That's tough. That's going to be very tough.
That's going to be one hell of a team to beat on offense. One hell of a team.
Absolutely, because someone's going to have to draw the double team, and I have a feeling it's going to probably either be Smith or Brown. It's going to be drawing the double team for some of these against some of these teams.
Here's the thing: both sides of the football will have to be double teamed.
Pretty much.
Both players, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, will have to be double teamed if they want to stop that offense.
That's
if Rager plays, you can stop him.
Well, Rager's he's already slid down to fifth on the depth chart, so pretty much he's pretty much going to be
he's pretty much done in Philly. He's done. Quez Watkins will be starting.
Well, Quez Watkins is probably our third option because usually it's going to be. Then again, you're going to have to flip flop because
who's going to be in the slot? Because we got AJ Brown.
Actually, you could pretty much put Watkins there because Watkins
is
very
versatile. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean.
And it's just like
so if we're gonna have Quez Watkins, Devontae Smith, and AJ Brown on offense at the same time, with Goddard at tight end,
and you got Miles Sanders and whoever else is
Miles Sanders in the back. Miles Sanders in the backfield, along with what's his name?
Yeah, they brought back
Boston Scott. In
this
the back.
Offense is going to be very dangerous in the NFC East. And granted, it is the NFC East. I mean, the NFC, the East, we all know that has been a weight division the last couple of years. I mean, the toughest conference here, probably any team going to be playing is probably the AFC because the AFC West got even much more better than the NFC did when it comes to when it came to the draft picks. But it's just like, seeing what the fact that the Eagles were super aggressive and actually what they need instead of sitting back and that's the thing too, especially with the Nakobe Dean one, and which is funny, even though despite the fact I already made a video about that and why he was perfect for Philly, because I mean these guys once we started really blitzing a little bit from time to time, I mean that's where I think you can definitely see Nakobe Dean really shine, and plus obviously getting Kasir White and also Kyron Johnson out of Kansas. So we're gonna have some good depth going on both sides of the football. It's just like this. I don't know, but I'm like I said, and this is what I keep telling people too. I'm really looking forward to football season already. It's always spring. It's incredible to see, how we finally. As much as the hate he gets, it's just crazy. Finally, see him to be super aggressive. And I know he was aggressive last year, but this was probably the most aggressive that we've seen Howie.
For me, last year was nothing. Because all we did was get Devontae Smith. The rest of the time, we were just getting depth pieces.
Yeah.
We weren't getting, high-end player after high-end player like we did this draft.
Absolutely. And just like, now I'm seeing, probably a couple steals in the sixth too. I mean, and obviously Nakobe Dean in the third, and having Jordan Davis as the 13th overall pick in the first. The fact we have two Georgia guys going to be wearing Eagles green is going to be very fun to watch. And like you said too, I mean, this is the proof of year, and this is what I think Doug said this best. Like this should be no excuses for Jalen Hurts. Obviously, since we brought in AJ Brown, should be no excuses whatsoever.
Yep, exactly. There should be no.
And I think Joey said Joey Shays actually said a good thing. Said something about Carson Strong. Carson Strong is at times can be he has his flaws too. Has bad pocket awareness from time to time. Just hangs onto the ball too long. Just doesn't know how to really get out of the pocket a little bit. But we all know the arm is there. I think he threw last time I checked. He throughout his time in Nevada, he threw over 4,000 yards. So we all know that he's going to be a gunslinger. But just his pocket.
The problem is with the Carson Strong thing and him not having pocket awareness is the fact that our line has been hit or miss the last few years.
Yeah, absolutely.
More so hit this last season, but there has been some times where Jalen Hurts had to run outside the pocket because pressure got there.
Absolutely.
And there were times where he had to throw it away, and things did get messy early on in the season with the line, but they cleaned it up late to make that run to make the playoffs last year. But if Carson Strong can manage to get on the roster, that'd be impressive.
I mean, because you got to think too. Like, we still got Minshew, who's on the final year of his contract. Plus, our third string is pretty much reached Senate, and we don't know who the hell that scrub is. So, I mean, either way, so it could be a potential battle for the third string spot.
Could be a battle for third string. What's up?
What's good, Steve? What's good, man?
But yeah, I feel like this team did get better. I feel like this year, I feel like at best we would be winning the division. Making a run at the playoffs, I don't know. I think we need a safety still, and we still need a cornerback. If we manage to get a quarterback and a safety before the season starts, maybe I'll change my stance.
Definitely, for sure. Because if you think about it, because it's like I mean, it's just like
because from here, because we still got a long way from here to September.
Absolutely. So there could be a potential, more moves could be made from Howie. Well, we gotta let see how that goes. I mean, it's gonna be very interesting because the cornerbacks can be very interesting because that can go in one of many ways because you don't know Slay's got the first outside lockdown. Because you can go down like a Mario Goodrich, and a couple others. I forgot who else we got picked up in the undrafted free agency. But we also haven't bring in Hassan Reddick. Which kind of really helps out. Really kind of try to bring this defense together. Which, let's be real, this team is really is very young. Only exceptions of Brandon Graham, Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson, who knows how long he might last in Philadelphia. So that's going to be very interesting. The right tackle might be available to one of these guys, especially the offensive guys that we picked up or drafted in the offense or in the first round. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. And the thing is too, it's just like you said. Obviously, this last year was pale in comparison to what we did this year. Obviously having had five, what could be solid draft picks, plus bringing AJ Brown. Shit.
How do you grade Hurts' performance last year? Well,
I say for me, see like a C-.
I would say C- to maybe a C+. He wasn't bad enough to where I would say, oh, he's trash. Like a lot of these fans are understating how good this guy is. Oh, he sucks because he can't read throws, and yes, he's got those flaws where he can't read defenses on who's open, and yes, he has to work on that. But he's made throws. He didn't, throw that many interceptions.
No.
He had an interception here and there. But he cleaned it up. I think he had one bad game where he threw 2 or 3.
I think that was against the Giants, and I think earlier in the season. It was
like early in the season, and then
but this is the time we were not running the football too.
And we were running the football. Hold on, let me speak, dude. We weren't running the football. We were not running the football like you said. We also weren't efficient, so to speak.
Yeah.
When it came to, third downs early season, we were not that efficient. I'll admit that. But the thing is, he was not terrible. But he needs to. But he was good on. But the only thing he needs to work on is these deep throws.
Yeah, deep throw accuracy
deep throw accuracy, and reading the defense. Who's open down the field?
Absolutely, and that's definitely true. I mean, look, if there's throws there, like he can beat you in more ways than one. A lot of people are kind of hating on that. It's just like we're in the age now where we're seeing quarterbacks being mobile as hell. I mean, we've seen when Lamar Jackson came into the league, he pretty much just ran the football like it's nobody's business. And if you think about it, because Lamar Jackson and Hurts can be one of the same.
The problem that I have with fans nowadays is that they think the old school way is what works today.
It really isn't.
Like, come on, this is not 1999 where pocket passers were freaking prevalent. This ain't 1992 where pocket passers were prevalent.
Well, the 70s or the 80s were pretty much, well, unless you were Randall Cunningham, but that's pretty much the only exception.
No, the 70s. The 70s where pocket passers were prevalent. And guess what? Like you said, Randall Cunningham was the first mobile freaking guy. Guess what? You can thank that dude for mobile quarterbacks today.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just for me, and I'm not saying, yo, what's good, East Coast Korea? I appreciate you tuning in, though. But yeah, and that's the thing. And I said this, and I know in terms of the skill set, I think Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts are one and the same. Both got some decent some good arm strength. Both are mobile quarterbacks. But you got to think too. I mean, there's a little bit some differences. Both have gotten better with their passing, but like I think a lot of most times now they're always like in run first. But that's just how the league is nowadays. And there are times that sometimes, I mean, as much as I love Randall Cunningham, revolutionized the quarterback position, but then again, you can also blame him for changing how quarterbacks are viewed. And all that. But it's just, and like Tyler hit it right on the point, if Hurts can do, and that's kind of what I said too when I made the video about it. If he can fix the, his reading his progressions, which is like each and every down, find, like you said, who's open, and definitely for sure, really working on the deep ball accuracy. I think he'd be a top 20 quarterback in this league. Hands down. And if you think about last year, he finished with over 3,000 total passing yards. So I mean,
so you tell me, Eagles fans, who is he bad? Is he bad? Because that dude threw 3,000 freaking yards. Okay, had a touchdown interception ratio that was really freaking good, and he got the team to the playoffs. And you tell me he's bad. Tell me he's bad.
It's embarrassing though, man. Because it's like, and plus too, man. And look, I mean, look, we all had our fair share of criticisms on Sirianni when he first came in. But
here's the thing. He made me respect him by the end of the season because he changed. He took the criticism. He did what we told him to do. He ran the football more, and what happened? We went on this run, we went 9-8, made the playoffs.
Absolutely. I mean,
could have went 10-7 if we didn't rest our starters, but I digress.
That's what I'm saying. Like Jalen Hurts right now as a quarterback now is what, top 15, top 20 at best.
Because top 15, top 20. He's not terrible.
I mean, and there's some other quarterbacks that are a lot better than him. I mean, obviously, there's that in the top 5, that in that echelon. But Hurts I mean, look, and I like what this kid, especially when Hurts was, during his time in Alabama and now Oklahoma. I mean, it's just, there are some. I mean, look, some mobile quarterbacks have their flaws. I mean, we saw it with when Lamar, like I said, when Lamar broke in, he was basically a run first quarterback. His passing was subpar. And if you looked at the last couple of years, I mean, he has worked on that deep ball a little bit. I mean, he has the arm strength to do it. And like I said, him and Jalen Hurts have the similar skill set. And obviously, the only difference is Lamar has an MVP under his belt. So, I mean, that's here nor there. But you guys, I don't see fans are not seeing the picture because of that. Well, yeah. I think overall, when it comes to the draft this year, I give Howie an A plus because of that. I know that maybe sound like a stretch a little bit, but for me, because originally I had it at an A minus because I thought we could have done a little bit better, especially especially in the secondary. But hey, look, I can't complain. No, that's the thing.
Can't complain either, brother.
And the fact that, when we gave up 2 picks for fucking A.J. Brown, and which is funny because now looking at it, and Mike Vrabel said at one point, said A.J. Brown's going nowhere unless as long as I had the head coach. Yeah, look how that turned out for you. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
You can't blame Vrabel for that.
That is true. But you can definitely blame the Titans for low.
Because he probably thought that he was staying. Just like AJ thought he was staying. The only person that has input on anything like that is the GM.
Absolutely. Because it's like, how this... Jeez. Oh, man, that was going to be a fucking crazy 3-headed monster. Like, the fact when we... And... Kelsey's reaction pretty much said it all. The way how he reacted on television when we traded for AJ Brown.
He wasn't on television. He was on YouTube.
Or YouTube, whatever.
Because BR is on YouTube. It was a YouTube draft thing. He was like, move out of the way. Because somebody walked in the way of the TV and shit. But yeah, he freaked out. That one guy, he was like, oh my God. I was like, that was me. That was me.
Like, pretty much. And some of these other bigger Eagles content creators, Joey Shakes, Philly, if you have not seen Philly 500's reaction to that, like, people thought people were playing him. It's like, nah, that shit's real. Like, he started cursing like a sailor. Like, this, and like Tyler said earlier in the show, like, we were not expecting AJ Brown to come here because we've been tied to AJ Brown a couple of times the last couple of years, but we never really pulled the trigger on until this year. And
how about the defense? It didn't look very. We already explained this, but the defense was not good last year.
No, and you got to think too. The defense
and the fact that we made these defensive moves, we're gonna be better this year.
And you got to think too. Like, the defense is getting really healthy. We're getting Brandon Graham back. And for those who had not really paid attention or watched Eagles games, as soon as Brandon Graham went down, I think after week 3, that's when everything started to fall apart with that defense. So I mean,
and then by the wild card when we got demoralized and demolished by Tampa Bay. And the game was over by half.
And it really did show that, Brandon Graham was definitely missed for sure. That is definitely for sure. Yeah. I mean, this team was battling the injury bug like it's nobody's business, like left and right. And I mean, the fact that we've
been battling the injury bug since about 2018, Rob.
Yeah, but still,
it's been crazy, dude.
It is very crazy. But hey, look. You got to give props where credit is due, and obviously that stinking. I don't know what the hell Sirianni was smoking during that press conference about the fucking flowers and all those bullets. Like, what the fuck are you? What are you going on about?
We're planting the seeds, and then the flowers gotta. I'm like, what?
I was like, what are you talking about? And then all of a sudden, when it started clicking, it's like, oh, geez, bastard.
I'm like, he said some philosophical shit, and it was working. What the fuck?
So apparently, the way I looked at it, it's just like he pretty much said they could say, "Oh, we're going to be running the football a lot more," and that's the thing too. Like, we led the league in rushing yards. Like, we were the number 1 rushing offense in the NFL. Because it just shows that this, there's some teams that are really pass happy. I mean, sometimes that might be success, but sometimes it comes where it comes back to bite you in the ass. I mean, we've seen that firsthand, in the first about 4 or 5 weeks into the season until we had to, scream at criticize him. It's like, dude, run the ball.
The thing is, we didn't start screaming very loudly until we were like 2-5.
Yeah, the 2-5.
And
yeah,
we went crazy. We're like, run the freaking football, or the season's gonna be over. Because if we didn't run the football, we'd probably be 2-14, 2-15.
And which is funny because I'm looking because I liked one of the Positive Philly who also follows me on TikTok. I looked on his TikTok, and they had the Eagles like where the Eagles ranked, and people at the bottom of the division is like, yeah, how'd that work out for you? Like literally, they had us like 1-16 or like
you've already said this on countless streams, man.
But it's just funny. I just still find it hilarious though. Seeing these like non-Eagles fans are eating their words because it's like, and yet, granted, I mean, we had some help from some of these other teams like the 49. I think the 49ers, and I can't think of another team that we had help from to really secure a playoff spot. I can't think of it because I know we helped from 2 teams, and one of them was the 49ers who we lost in I think week 2 or week 3. But it was
the Niners and somebody else. I forgot.
I can't really think of it. But the fact of the matter is that the fact we finished one game above 500 really speaks volumes to what this team can do, especially now we're getting fully healthy. We finally picked it. We got some really good draft picks. I can tell you that much. I mean, from what I saw from Jordan Davis in the championship game, yeah, good luck trying to stop that. And being the next, and having Fletcher Cox, learning behind Fletcher Cox too. That's going to be that's tough. I mean, you're going to have a strong front 7, questionable secondary, to say the least. I mean, really good, really decent linebacking core with Kaiser White, Nakobe Dean. You definitely, if you have to, you can definitely put Hassan Reddick in there. But I think Hassan Reddick's more going to be on the edge. You're still going to have Josh Sweat.
Hassan Reddick was already announced to be an edge rusher, not a linebacker.
By the way, but I don't know, man. It's gonna be very interesting what this team can bring to the table in terms of the kind of talent that we brought in, especially from the draft, though. Especially some of these undrafted free agents too, which I think could really. I don't know because it's like when it comes to the cornerback, we all know. I think Slade, even despite the Slade's almost won it last year, dude. I mean, if I'm Howie, I'm looking at the. I mean, got to give Slade an extension because he balled out last season. Like first time that we've seen, Slade still being elite as he is at 30. I thought Zach McPherson. I like what I saw out of him. He's shown some flashes. That's going to be really tough to really tell because I mean, Steven Nelson was good, but he was majorly picked on because they just didn't want to throw Slade's way. It just. I mean, that's going to be very tough to really see what the cornerbacks on who's going to take cornerback number 2, going into 2022. I mean, I think linebackers. If I want to have my guess, I think I'm going to say like either Kazir White and Nakobe probably could be our starters on the defensive end. I think have Jordan Davis, also there as well behind Fletcher Cox at the defensive tackle. I mean, we still got Milton Williams, who I thought this kid as a 3rd round pick is I really like the Milton Williams pick last year. Because this kid has shown flashes of what he can bring. And Javon Hargraves, we all know how good he can be. Obviously, he was quiet the last couple of weeks last year. I mean, in regards to Jonathan Gannon, he's got to learn how to have a consistent defense because the defensive play calling was absolutely atrocious from time to time. And I think if I'm Gannon, we're gonna stop playing better, playing like crap in the first half, and for some reason, what changes, and stop try not to shit the bed the first half and play, like an elite football team in the second half. So I mean, that's kind of something that I would like to see Jonathan Gannon make that adjustment because if that happens, oh, good Lord, watch out for this defense. Because I mean, like I said, the secondary is a little bit questionable because obviously we don't really have a safety at the moment. Other than you could probably put Avonte Maddox back there, but I really don't. I mean, that's probably the most.
Avonte Maddox, I've heard he was really he was actually pretty good at safety last year.
Yeah, because that's his primary position. He's a free safety, so which is something that we really don't have. Since
So,
Ryan McLeod
so
went
I
to the
think
Colts on
they
a 1 year
didn't get a
deal.
safety. I think they didn't get a safety because they were trusting Avante after what he did last year. He was okay last year.
I think there's
Minus
some stuff in.
that bad blunder game at Tampa Bay, obviously.
Oh
Where
yeah,
nobody on defense played well. But other than that, he wasn't really too bad at safety.
I mean, and plus, I mean, the cornerback too is a question mark too, because it's like who you're going to stick out there with Slade. Are you going to have Mario Goodrich out there? Are going to have Zach McPherson? Because I don't trust Kayvon Wallace at all, who was their 4th round pick last year. I don't really see him kind of turning out. Zach McPherson, I mean, it's most likely he's going to be out there alongside Slay. It's going to be tough or interesting to see what this defense is going to look like, going forward. I mean, despite the fact, we're having Brandon Graham back, which I think, and like I said before, I think one side of kill when he went down, it's just like, oh fuck, here we go. It's like a snowball effect. And it's not just just applies to Eagles, can apply to all Philly sports. Once that one star player goes down, it's a snowball effect from there. Like that's when all the dominoes start falling, and Philly sports start shitting the bed. I mean, like I said, if you look back at last year when we, after winning the first 2 games, losing the next 3, and it's like, fuck. Like sometimes it is frustrating to be a Philly sports fans from time to time. Not when you want to punch your TV, but that's a whole nother problem. So you don't really
Here's
see.
the thing. I wouldn't be that stupid to punch a TV.
Oh yeah, you don't want to be that stupid. But I think having Brandon Graham healthy, and some of these guys on the offensive line, still staying healthy as ever, and hopefully if Miles Sanders can stay healthy, because for some reason some of these Penn State guys cannot stay healthy with a damn. I mean, we see because it's unfortunate because I really like what Miles Sanders brings, being same with Saquon when he came out of the draft too. But it was unfortunate he can't stay healthy the last 3 years, and it's just obviously bringing back Boston Scott on the 1 year deal. I thought he, being a small elusive back that he is, I really like. I think this team can. I say go to the championship round. Like on paper, and like Tyler said, are we Super Bowl bound? Not really. We still got.
I don't even think we're that good enough to make the championship.
On paper, we are.
No.
But are we Super Bowl bound? No, not in the slightest. Not yet, anyways, because we still got a long ways to. I don't think we have that long way to go. But I mean, obviously, if you take the draft from last year and this year. I mean, yeah, getting Devontae Smith and pissing off Giants fans, that was fun. And that was I think, was a start to getting one of the number 1 receivers. This year, grabbing and addressing the needs that we needed, defensive tackle and all defensive players, while still trading 2 picks to get fucking AJ fucking Brown from Tennessee. And it's just like, really helped bring that wide receiver core together. I don't know. Like this team. And like we said, this. We all know the NFC East is the weakest division. I think this division definitely has fallen into the Eagles' favor tremendously. The way that the moves that the Eagles have made. If I have to guess, the last 4 or 5 years, it's always other than 2020 was the only exception where Washington took the division. But it's more if you looked at the track record between us and the Cowboys, it's always been us two. For the last, forever, pretty much. Other than,
the last few years, honestly.
Yeah, the last few years has always been us and the Cowboys.
Since 2017, it's been either us or the Cowboys. With the Cowboys winning 2018, 2020.
Which 2020 was Washington.
Oh, no, 2020 was Washington. You're right. Which was an outlier.
Yeah. And we don't want to talk about that season anyway.
That season sucked.
Yeah.
But 2021 was the Cowboys, I think.
Yeah, last season was the Cowboys, and we finished in the wild card.
Yeah, we finished second, and we got the wild card.
Like on paper, I could say this team could be, at worst 9-8 again. I mean, at best, maybe a 10-7, maybe. That's where that's how I see this team on paper. I think between a 9-8 to a 10 to a 10, between a 9 and 10 win team. Hell, even like at best case scenario could be 11-6. That's the way how I see this team on paper.
I don't see this team going 9-8. I don't see them going 9-8 at all.
I mean, that's definitely our 9-8 is definitely our floor. I think our highest try to be as more realistic is probably an 11-win team, because I know there's going to be some other fans going to be blown out of the water like a 12-13. It's like we're not there just yet. I mean, we still got a few ways to go before we get into that 12 to 13 win territory. But it's definitely, this team can be 10 to 11 wins at a best case scenario. But I mean, it's just so. I mean, for me, I say best case scenario from the way that I see, if I want to do my record prediction, it's probably 11-6. That's my take on how this team is kind of built, especially from this year's draft, along with this year's draft as well.
I'm thinking the same.
11-6.
Yeah,
because if you think, like obviously I feel like with Jordan, like I said, how we kind of went over some of the draft picks. Jordan Davis 6'6", 340, and the fact that this kid ran a 4.78 and the fucking 40-yard dash is like, what the hell? And then I mean, it's just like, I mean, also the fact like. If you not watched our previous, when me and Tyler actually live streamed the draft, when and we've watched other Eagles content creators as well, you can definitely tell our reactions were to the Nakobe Dean pick. It's like, damn, it was just crazy. It's just how far he has fallen, especially had fallen in the draft, though. I mean, but hey, look. He's wearing Eagles green. That's all I'm happy about, because it's like now we got two Georgia, and the fact that Georgia too really set the mark. With many of their players drafted. Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean. Who's another one off the? Oh crap! I think there was like 5 Georgia players taken in the draft this year, which is really crazy to really think about. Because usually it's always LSU or Alabama, and there's some Georgia sprinkled in here, but it's mostly, I think, the last 2 to 3 years, it's been LSU and Alabama, give or take, because when it comes to the talent prospects. But I mean, Jordan Davis, like I said, I've been very high on him on my draft board. Same with Mario Goodrich out of Clemson. I thought he was more like a second-round talent. Hey, appreciate it, Earl. Appreciate you tuning in.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, other than that, I mean, the way that this Eagles team has kind of been, I mean, other than, the players that we still have here, like, and the fact we're having also adding some other, like some of the, undrafted free agents and some of our draft picks as well. It's going to be, like we said, this is going to be a very interesting season to look forward to, because obviously I think the way, like I said, like Tyler said, last year obviously was the Cowboys. The year before that was Washington. It seems to me like, if you not really kind of pay attention to some of these teams in the NFC East, how they drafted, they really didn't make that much. And and I know Washington fans are probably, somewhat up in arms on that Sam Howell pick in the 5th round, despite the fact they already traded for Carson Wentz. But that's a whole. So they can deal with that shit So like we don't have to worry about that. But like we said, this is a prove year for Jalen Hurts. Now, like I said, it's a prove year for Jalen Hurts. And I'm kind of one of the ones that is still riding with him for one more year. If he doesn't work out, then he's done. I mean, plain and simple. There's no sugarcoating it, because it seems to me like. And you got to think too, like obviously this year's quarterback class was not the best. Obviously, we don't know that next year it's going to be the best. So if Jalen Hurts doesn't work out, we still got 2 first round picks going into the 2023 draft, which kind of features players like Bryce Young from Alabama. I can't remember who are others, because there's some other good quarterbacks coming out of that draft class. But
Mm-hmm.
like Tyler said too, like we got like this, and even myself included too. Like Gannon needs to have his better play calling. Not let Fletcher Cox defend the screens. It's like, and that was just an atrocious thing to do. I mean, let Fletcher Cox do his thing. Just let this defense feed. Just let this defense feed. I mean, you brought in Hassan Reddick on a 3-year deal. You brought in A.J. Brown on the offensive side for 4 years, $25 million a year, with 57 of that million being guaranteed money. Which let's be real. I think he deserves every single one of that for being. So technically, we had 2 number ones. So either way, I mean, it's going to be very interesting what this team can bring. I don't know. Like we said, I mean, our bracket predictions, we had this at 11-6. Maybe worst case scenario, maybe 10-7. That's probably like the worst that I've seen to see this team. Because it's like, if you took how this draft has gone, I thought a lot of teams this year had amazing drafts. Eagles, the Ravens, surprised the Jets. Who would have thought the Jets had a good draft too? We all know. Well, then again, it's just like the Jets are not as bad as people think they are. It's just how they kind of just performed and it kind of gets that perception. But that's a little bit off topic. But especially when we stick into the NFC East, obviously, it's us with the Eagles, Cowboys, Washington, and the Giants. Giants had some 2 decent picks. I mean, some some minor ones, but really nothing else, nothing really special to really push the needle. Same with Dallas, who they were. Even Dallas was also kind of tied into Kobe Dean, but we were. I think in Howie's mind, I don't think he was not going to let that happen. I don't know. Like it's just like I want to kind of get. It's just like we said, we're not. I think all of us Eagles fans we were not expecting to see A.J. Brown here in the city of Philadelphia. The fact I think Nakobe Deal might be what a steal of a linebacker in the 3rd round is going to be very interesting to see. Jordan Davis, even though a lot of people, some of the stuff the criticisms that he has brings along with them, I think this team can do well in the NFC East. Now, I think, like Tyler said, I mean, we're definitely going to put the fight in the 1st round, though. But are we going to make out of it? Probably not. But if we get lucky, who knows? Like anything can happen in the NFL. So I mean, because let's be real, I think us Eagles fans, we want our get some more humility after having that. Let's just say that subpar playoff appearance. But hey, look, I really can't even though it was bad, but I can't complain that the Eagles somehow made the playoffs with the roster that they had.
Listen, I really wasn't mad at the loss. Yes, I wanted to see them win it, but the thing is, they made the playoffs. I was happy by the end. I'm like, whatever, they made the playoffs.
That's all that matters, though. Well, yeah, with that all out of the way, I mean, we pretty much hit. I hope you really guys enjoying what we brought to episode 2 of the Eagles Talk podcast. You'll see me again. Talking all Sixers. Well, I'll get into that as well. But before we get out of here, Tyler, you got any final thoughts before we wrap it up here?
No. Nope.
Neither do I. But other than fly Eagles fly. We're looking forward to Jalen. I mean, with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in for episode 2 of the Eagles Talk podcast. With that being said, this is Robert and Tyler from the Philly Sports Talk podcast. We'll see you guys in the next episode.